Oh,
Nice.
I just realised I have I'm trained in one type of artisan's tools that I've not noted down.
Artisan's tools.
Think about that.
What would say that?
I've been doing a lot of crafting. Well, the thing is, from my sailor background, I'm already trained in navigator's tools and water vehicles.
That's fun.
So I might take some type of crafting kit, 'cause there were a bunch of kits there, weren't there?
Imagine if we met the goblins, you could take them across the water.
I could, couldn't I? I like that I've got just a free don't die in the sea pass. Almost. Don't die in the sea from the benevolent, death-giving god.
Malevolent.
Malevolent, that's the one.
You could be
Benevolent to everybody except for the goblins.
And the orcs. And everyone else who tries to swim it.
Everybody that doesn't have a special coin.
Those poor
Have a-
children
have
who
a
went
nice-
down to the sea one day, they
Yeah.
tried to swim.
Paddle, paddle, paddle.
Have a paddle. Death!
Alright, cool. Let's start jumping into then. So do we want to start off the episode same as last time, or shall we roll the credits and come up with some pre-rolls before we start?
Yeah.
Cool, let me grab a pencil. Oh, let me find the credits music. And start scheming up with ideas.
Okay, I've got two.
Everybody ready?
Yep.
Cool, right. Roll credits.
Right, so firstly, harking back, I want the picture of Nutt saying run, and everyone running out except for us who sat in the river.
I think the iconic image of Yarlet in a giant robe hanging off
Like upward vision of the guy crawling through a small hole to the end of a quarterstaff.
The look of Run's face as being smashed with his brother in the shoulder would have made
thunderous moon.
the thunderous made him like, crunch up.
Wow. Like one of those like still action where it's like the dude holding the egg and then throwing it and then the spider like bursting in air out of the egg.
Nice.
Not just being like, ta-da to the dragon. Stun face to the
Slow mo one side, not running.
yeah.
So much not wrong.
And when,
With pigtails flopping by his head.
when the group's reunited, nothing like, where have you been?
What's been going on, guys?
And then a final mace from camera from below.
Yeah. Cool. Like it. Sweet. So, that's Matt, you got 1, Dave, you got 2, and then Steve and Smith, you both got 3.
Ooh. Can I spend 10 inspiration? First of all?
Do you want to do it right now? You
Yeah,
can, if
that'll
you want.
take me exactly up to 10, so I'll be down to 0.
If you want to, yeah, you can totally do that.
Well, I'm up to 11 now. Should I? No, I'm going to leave mine.
Well, when's level 3? Is it 900?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it
I'm at
anyway.
970.
So how much?
I just leveled up.
So I'd be back up because you leveled with us.
900, you
Yeah.
say?
Yeah.
So I'll
Yeah,
I'll
but
probably get there.
he was a session behind
Today anyway,
previously,
then.
so he went
You
from
did
being
next one,
back
didn't
to being.
I'm holding,
Yeah.
then once we get
So
to
how much
900, if you want to do it then,
experience would I
Yeah.
you
get?
get so much more.
So is it
Yes.
300
Yeah,
up to
good one.
900? Am I right in saying from?
For 600 to 900, so I get 150.
No, it's
something
more.
like
No, it's 300. You would get.
Yeah, you can get 300.
So
yeah.
I'll be 1,045.
You sure don't want to wait till next level, Steve?
I want to live.
It's much bigger gap.
I am choosing to live.
My thoughts exactly.
Okay, cool.
I'll do my stuff while you get started.
Okay, cool. That there's some stuff we can get on with
Yeah.
then.
We're only going to die if we encounter owls, and I don't think level 3 is going to be
You
enough.
can die in so many more ways than just owls.
Yeah.
We get like creepy cave ambience back
Confident.
I can
I know,
choose
right?
to live in this cave forever and never encounter owls again.
Like
Well,
Jackie.
like
My-
Jack-
and have that pan for him.
I might get eaten by a dragon.
Don't make him smite you.
Your siblings will show up and smack you with a mace. Okay, so I think as the credits fade out of this one, there's a few. I want to do a couple of DM-led inspiration scenes if people are down for giving it a go, because there's some stuff I want to poke around with, and it's worth double inspiration. So like the inspiration scenes you do yourself, but I'm going to give you some prompts to run with if people are happy to do so. Cool. So the first one I'd like to start is, I think as the credits sort of fade out, I think we fade in exactly where we left the previous episode. So we get like a bird's eye view shot from the roof of the tent with the 2 dragons in it.
Oh, with the
Yeah, so
swimming.
So it
Just
doesn't.
to act that out.
Well, let me turn the camera. So I think we sort of see on this broken bed from above. You're sort of in this. There's no light in the tent, so we're sort of side lit from the entrance of the tent, and we see what to an untrained eye may appear like a fairly intimate moment. But what I'd like to flash back and see is the camera sort of slowly zooms in on the two of you spooning on this bed. And I think as the camera zooms in, like the scene begins to twist and fade, and we see the two small golden dragons in the same shape but considerably younger. So, where were you guys, and what sort of situation were you thrust into? Is this an affectionate thing you're doing? Is this some sort of comfort thing? Is this some sort of dragon thing?
I like the thoughts this was you and me. Say for instance, Jackie and Father were out doing older dragon things. We went out and were being mischievous, ended up getting lost on the gravel fields, and we had to hide for the night. So it's more of like a sticking together.
Yeah.
Thing, you know?
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, so it's sort of you. So with the scene we sort of played as you guys basically in a similar to the first night we found you when you were actually on your trial, just like in a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
Like the rain probably pouring outside, and you two considerably small dragon balls shivering in this hole.
Yeah.
Conjoined fetal position.
Just about. And I just recently had got my scar across my chest.
Okay, that I'm curious about. Where did that come from?
So that was. Remind me of the animals that are in the gravel pit that
Let's bring up the
would
list.
have eaten us instantly.
Yeah, let's find out. I'll bring up the list, and you can figure out what made that enormous gouge out at the front of your chest. 3 C's. Tiny chain. So this is our list.
Well, we were quite young,
Mm-hmm.
so I probably imagine we just tangled with a tiger.
Okay.
And very recently got away.
Okay, sweet. So yeah, I imagine the scene's probably the same way round, with runners the small spoon. But I suppose the difference between the two scenes as we spade between the two of them, is the where you guys are lying like clearly in front of Run. There's this pool of blood, and Din probably not too sure whether or not Run's actually going to make it through the night, desperately trying to keep you warm from just bleeding out and dying of cold and blood loss.
Put these bits back in.
Yeah.
Sweep those up for you.
Yeah.
There you go.
I just hold it there for you, buddy.
Okay, so did that become a thing after that? Like, because it seemed very casual the way that Din just sort of strolled into the room.
I know
Spoon. They did the sort of the bro spoon, and then everything was okay.
Well, last time it wasn't. Just then, like when we were in the cave just now, in present time, that wasn't so much of a spoon. That was more just. Remember correctly, Din just got on the bed,
Yes.
and I was like, things aren't okay just yet.
Okay.
It's still kind of intimate though.
It is
I
still
think
like,
it's reassuring to both of them, even though neither of them would ever admit it.
yeah,
Yeah.
because obviously, while we would never admit it, we are still the only of 4 dragon balls, so it's quite nice to have.
Okay,
It's like in
sweet.
real life, isn't it?
Exactly.
We never talk about our secret
It always happens.
Yeah.
Sweet. So, any
Don't even
questions
get
from
drunk
the
anymore.
remaining two of you?
Full of them, I see.
That incident with him nearly dying is probably what inspired Din to cut his face in half.
Yeah.
Later. Seeing as he survived a vicious attack
Mm-hmm.
and had this legitimacy that comes from having a big scar.
So, did you kill the tiger?
We escaped.
Okay.
We were younger, a whole lot younger then.
How young are you?
So we're just about to be adults, aren't we now?
Yes, so
At the
you'd be
start.
coming of age. So.
So, a couple of years.
Yeah.
Couple, or like toddlers.
No, we're coming of adults. I imagine.
A couple of years
Really
ago.
like the equivalent of young teenagers.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
What would
so
that be
years
for
ago.
Dragon Ball? Like 18, 20?
They're still about the same.
Yeah, and Dragon Ball's pretty much run parallel with human lives.
And it was just you two, right? So where was your phone?
Him and Jackie were doing parent things, and we were being mischievous and got away.
Okay.
Mhm.
And our sort of invincibility complex made us think, yeah, we'll just play with this.
Yeah.
Kitty.
Nice pussy.
That's the street pussy.
My question is Din, or was Din jealous and that's why he did the scar?
Yeah.
And is Din still jealous of it?
Din is always compares himself to Run. and always tries to sort of outdo him. Not in a sort of mean way, just
When a little
it's
brother.
a bit of a it's a brotherly conflict, really, isn't it?
Sibling rivalry.
Yeah, and so so it is kind of jealousy. This big scar, which kind of looks impressive to warrior people.
Nice, sweet. So yeah, so 2 inspiration points each for the dragons. I like that. And then hand one out to your favourite question.
Probably Steve's question just then. Jealousy
Cool, that's
question.
fine. So
One.
sweet. So I think that transitions quite nicely then. So I think we then transition across to the next of the scenes as we sort of pan out of the tent. The camera sort of draws back upwards, and then we return to the present day. And we see the two dragons lying in bed with Din twitching ever so gently, but we'll get to that momentarily. So I think we then bump past into the other tent, and the camera first starts lying on the newest addition to the group, or at least so you guys may think. It's curled up like a snake, all sort of wrapped around itself, by the foot of the bed. Its head and these enormous black antlers are poking up over it. The long sort of coy-like whispers sort of whisper around and follow the spiral of the body as it's curled up at the foot of the bed. I think we saw the camera sort of passes between these large gnarled black antlers to where Nuck sat cross-legged on the bed flipping through this book about dragons where we left you last time. I think we do catch you reading through a relevant section. We sort of see Nuck reaches a page and then squints at the horns of this dragon. The section you were reading was regarding dragonborn physiology and sort of their dragon physiology and their sort of immortality and how that's linked. Basically what you read is that because dragons, at least in their pure-blooded form, or the dragonborns, which are sort of mixed with humans, because they're immortal, the way that dragons would usually present their age is by the size and the length of both their horns and their whiskers. But that's not actually because they sort of grow as they become older. As dragons sustain injuries over the course of their life, this would then, the regeneration that they have causes their horns and their whiskers to grow. So you can immediately tell that even though this is clearly a very young dragon, it would be seen by other dragons as very old purely by the amount of suffering that it's sort of seen in its life. Obviously very heavily concentrated in this case because it's just been tortured as opposed to living through battles. But
So for what I would expect of like roughly the age, but obviously it's very young, its horns are absolutely massive already.
exactly, yeah. And you probably do squint over and look over at the tent, and we probably wouldn't have seen previously that where you sustained this enormous scar across your body, your whiskers and your horns would be slightly larger and longer than that of Din's. Like Din's probably over the course of the time that we've been out would have grown, because just before leaving he cut his face, and as that's been healing, the reactions and the scarring would have been causing his horns to slowly grow and his whiskers to slowly grow longer too. Side. And then I think what are you doing at the moment, Chuck? Because did you say you wanted to go rummaging through some stuff?
Who's Chuck?
No.
Oh, sorry, no, sorry.
I'm not really sure, because there wasn't a lot for us to do other than to rest. Are we resting up in the top right-hand area where the things were?
I thought we were on top
Oh
right.
no, we went up to where the dragon was, so we're up in the top left.
Yes, you guys are here.
You're in Jackie's tent.
Yeah, I'm in Chaki's tent. The dragon's there.
That's less one.
I don't know what to do really. I guess I'll just speak to Yarlet and just be like, "Hey, this looks pretty interesting. You might want to have a look at this when I'm done."
Okay.
I mean, it's not a nice subject, but I think I've forgotten his name.
Chucky, yeah.
I think Chucky's just been torturing this dragon. I pull out the whip. It's still got the blood on it. I just show him, like, the book says that the horns on the dragon get larger. Basically, the more it suffers, the more it has to heal itself.
I see.
Expect a dragon like this to have fairly small horns, and it already looks like a tree. So, yeah. And then I'll hand the book over to Yarla just in case.
Okay.
You can probably make better use of it.
Yeah, and I think that's quite poignant because Yarlet, have you chosen your second level spells yet? because I think this is a good moment. I think Yarlet's probably with a different understanding of like arcanic runes and things. You're flipping through the pages of this book you've been given. What do you find? Have you chosen anything yet?
Yes.
He says crossing something out on his character sheet.
Well, I had to choose between 3, and I've made my choice.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So we see Yarla. You're sat on the bed as well, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
With the dragon at your foot. So you spread the book out across your lap and begin thumbing through the pages. What do you find?
I find a couple spells. Specifically, one of them is kind of like how to breathe fire like a dragon.
Okay. Apt.
Yeah. or so it is. I won't be breathing fire. I'll be doing it from other places, but it's called Scorching Ray.
Nice.
And the other one is a way to trick dragons into believing that you're more intimidating than you are, since dragons are very hard to control. A spell called Phantasmal Force.
Nice, I like it.
Does
Excellent.
that have any effect on Dragon Ball?
It has an effect on everything.
Yeah, I think that's rather apt that you find the spells about burning and subjugating things in a book. I like that Nut hands it to you, like, look at this book on like biology, and you're like, evil spells, evil spells.
They're only evil if you use them for evil. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. With guns.
Okay, cool. So I think with that we can just drop into regular play. We left you guys at the start of a long rest, but obviously we've got 2 things to deal with during that long rest. A few things. So they're going to kind of incur in the order which I suppose you guys attack them. But the guy where did this knocked out of the henchman get dragged from? Those of you who've listened to the recording recently, was he the one that Steve stomped on? Oh, he was, yeah. So there's the one who Steve got to crawl through the boulder hole. He's waking up first.
He's still near the boulder, right?
No, you guys dragged him up. So just outside the tent. I think this is probably something we noticed as well. Yarla and you guys are probably a bit preoccupied. But yeah, Chucky and the cultist are just propped up against the wall on the other side, unconscious, and I believe bound with rags, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah.
So, we're going to plan to do anything else with them before they wake up? You waiting for them to wake up? Because they're going to be awake before your long rest is over.
Should we be monitoring them in turn?
I'm pretty sure we bound them both.
Yeah.
Jackie's
Are we
a dragon.
confident enough in the bounding to leave them unmonitored?
Just hog tie them, and they can't really do anything.
So you're going to take watches and do it that way?
That's wow, isn't
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, cool. So what's the order of the watches? So I suppose who's you guys are, so Din is asleep in the other room. Run, you're in there with him.
Yeah.
Who's taking the watches and who's making this decision anyway?
Once I'm done with the book, I'll take first watch.
Okay. So Nux on first watch. Who wants to take second one? There's no night
I will.
or day in here,
I
but
will.
there is, but you won't be able to notice it. Yarla.
And I'll go third. No one likes to disturb Din when he's sleeping. He
Okay.
gets angry.
he? I'm like muttering to himself with his eyes rolled.
You're going to leave Din to his
Leaving to have my moment.
Too much little spoon.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we'll deal with that. So the watches. So we'll deal with these in this order. We'll deal with Nux watch first because it's first. So the cultist that you knocked out, Nuck. One problem is he would wake up during your watch. So everybody else is away in their tents resting. You're keeping watch, and you see this guy who you stabbed in the face while he's crawling through a hole. He begins to groggily come around. What do you do?
He shouts, "Where's Tom?"
Yeah, I think as he comes to, he's like, Tom. Tom is. We sort of get it from his perspective for a second. There's like Nux silhouette is looming over him, but completely out of focus as he's grogging. He's trying to squint and recognise who stood above him. Tom, is that you?
Hood up.
Okay.
Yes, it's me, Tom.
Roll deception.
Oh, that's a 7 plus whatever my deception is, which is -6.
6. Okay, I'm not even going to roll on a 6. I think that's just. I think it's
the way you said it. Yes, it's me, Tom.
Yeah,
I think
it's.
it's my own name.
I think.
It is Tom, your friend
I think
and
that.
lover.
I think equal parts the lameness of the lie and the fact that his eyes come into focus and you're clearly not Tom. We sort of get to see it from his perspective. His eyes focus, and the first thing he sees is this enormous beard, which is consuming most of his view.
You've been out for a year.
What happened to you, man?
What year is it? He sort of looks startled and looks to his side and sees Chacky sort of unconscious with his head rested on his shoulder and like a sleeping girlfriend. He starts at that for a second and then looks up at you, not saying a word, lips almost decisively pinched close.
Now, I know this looks bad. We may have killed most of your friends, but we are not your enemy.
I don't know whether to get you to roll persuade or
I wouldn't
deception.
even bother, I'm just terrible at it. So
Okay.
I'm not even trying. The character's trying hard, but I'm not.
Okay,
So-
sweet. Yeah, I like it. I'll add an inspirational form. So yeah, I think he just likes trying to sink down in a chair so the teacher doesn't pick you in class. He slowly shimmies down, shrinking away from you, and he doesn't say anything to you unless you're going to say something to him.
I will just try to treat his face if he'll let me, or like the hit on his head.
Okay.
Just try to like roughly bandage it.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, roll a lawyer me when you roll.
Well, I've got a +1 to medicine, so I'll just.
Okay, so I'm thinking for him to let you first, so it'll just be like a straight charisma check unless you can lawyer me something which you're better at, which you can use.
I mean, he is bound.
So you're gonna force it upon him. That's fine if you want.
I'm
Yeah,
just
you
gonna
can.
be like, I'm just gonna bandage you up. Try not to bite me.
Okay, sweet. So yeah, I think if that's the case, then I think there's a bit of a struggle. Like he clearly thinks that you're going to shove the bandage down his throat as his first initial order. But after a bit of a struggle, like you managed to force him into your care. So yeah, roll out.
Well, I'm rolling terribly. That's a 9.
9. Okay, I think probably emblematic of the fact that he was kicking and squirming the entire time. Like you get him bandaged, but
Well, it doesn't really do much.
no, very clumsily. Like he's just got rag. So a lot of it is I imagine the only things that are around would have been fine silk or more of the cultist's rags. So it looks like he's just more bound than when you started.
Just soaking up some of the blood.
Yeah, and I think the beauty of it as well is like his face is probably wrapped in such a way that he's not going to be arguing or anything. I think.
Just mummified his head.
Yeah, basically. I think in the struggle, I think that he's been gagged.
Oh, by the way, what's your name? Okay.
A single tear falls down his cheek as we cut to the next thing we've got to deal with.
Instantly absorbed by the bandage.
I think what
Well
we'll
done, buddy.
I think what we'll cut to next is the slightly grander of the things that are happening right now. So I think the camera sort of trails through from the single tree trailing down the cheek of the cultist, and we weave into the tent where the two dragonborn are. Not. Could you be asleep by now? Run. Sorry, yeah, run. Would you be asleep by now?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we see Din sleeping on the bed beside him. And he sort of rolls onto his back, his head rolls back, and we can see that his eyes are full on rolled into the back of his head. And the camera sort of pans closer and closer into his face until we're just his framed eyes, and then it pans back out again. But this time he's in a completely different location. Still the same age. This one doesn't appear to be a flashback. But we see as it pans out further apart, he's just laying on a dirt floor. And as we see that his eyes roll back forwards with a startled look. Din, you wake up and you're staring at you feel like you're on stone and dirt, staring up at a sky which is swirling with red clouds.
Right. I checked my brother next to me.
Yeah, so I think you pour out for your partner under the bed beside you, but no, there's nothing but dirt to your side.
I'll rub my eyes.
Okay, yeah. You rub your eyes and open them to focus as if waiting for this to dissipate, but you're still staring up at clouds.
Okay, I'll look around me. What sort of scenery is around me?
Okay, cool. So yeah, I think you sit up, and we sort of get this long shot as the camera zooms out far on a helicopter shot, as we get a big wide view of the area where Din is. Din, you're basically sat in just like a perfectly flat open plain. Nice.
Celery break.
Somebody rudely crunching celery.
Run, I hear you.
Well done. And just as the camera sort of pans out, you're in a large sort of open, like the gravel fields, but all pressed perfectly flat. You sort of sit up and look out in front of you, and it seems to stretch away. You can hear something in the distance as you face the direction where you're facing as you sit up. And it sounds like the clattering of weapons and the shouts of battle. It sounds like it's far in the distance, like you can only just make it on the breeze. And then you turn around, and considerably closer than whatever battle is occurring, a large structure that penetrates up into the sky behind you, made entirely out of twisted, broken weapons. You're sat in front of a large oak door, all of the bindings made by different pole arms and swords all bent round into the shape of this fortress. Can you roll religion for me?
Take that, Game of Thrones.
4.
Okay, actually roll it with advantage, because it does make sense that...
4.
Okay, so yeah, I think you're a bit too flabbergasted to know what's going on.
Shitty as paladin.
Just stoves people.
In the name of...
Shit.
I'll heal you anyway.
I think that's rather apt for this. That's fine. So I think, what do you do initially? So we'll give you a few seconds to react.
Can I ask, is this something I've experienced before?
No, this would be 100% the first time. Like this could be a dream for all you know.
Yeah.
But
So I probably do just think it's a dream and do.
Look at your hands. Control the dream.
Yeah. I get a spinning top and. Well, this door looks pretty gnarly, so I got to it.
Okay, sweet.
Try and open it.
Okay, so yeah, you like press a hand against the door, but almost as soon as you do, there's like a large creaking, and the door, instead of the way you pushed it, begins opening outwards. And you take a step backwards out of the way of the door, and out of the gloom, a small, unassuming man comes padding out towards you. He doesn't even look at you. He's looking down at a clipboard, which he's carrying in his hands. He's sort of like very modestly dressed, probably not to you. To us as viewers, he would very much be. He looks like he's dressed for work at like a call centre. He's just about dressed up. He's got like a nice shirt on, buttoned up to the top, trousers. The only thing that you probably wouldn't see in a call centre is that he's got a single shackle around his right leg, with a single link of a chain attached to it.
Yeah, they make us wear it.
I've seen it.
Single what attached to it?
A single link of a chain attached to the shackle on his leg.
Must be
But broken through.
Yeah, he pads forward to you, looking down at his clipboard, and he unenthusiastically reads to you. Congratulations, hero. Hail, you have prevailed. Welcome to the afterlife. He extends a hand out to his side and he says, please report to the armory for weapons, and then to the battle. And then he 180s without saying another word and begins padding back down the corridor in the other direction. I think with that you wouldn't need a religion check to figure out where it is. You'd at least know what the afterlife of your chosen god is. Upon that, it becomes apparent that you are at Udo's feast hall.
Right. It's essentially Valhalla.
This is essentially Valhalla, yeah. So the people of the Orcish tribes whose religion that you've sort of fallen into by living in Tai Cheng, this is their afterlife.
Right.
You claim weapons from the hall, and then you go and fight in the battle against Udo's brother Varth out in the fields.
It's pretty rock.
Whereas he fights for honour and duty, and you fight for bloodshed and more bloodshed.
Sounds right up my street. But I think I call after him. Afterlife? I'm not dead.
Okay, I think with that he like turns around to look at you and he goes. He begins to like let out a sigh as if he's had this conversation before. But as he does, his jaw like hangs open. He goes, "Oh God, you're not dead." And he like runs up to you and he says, "Oh, who summoned you here?" He like looks down at his flipboard and begins frantically flipping through pages.
Admin error.
You didn't have an appointment. You're not going to die for at least another hour yet.
And he reaches a page and his eyes dart open, his pupils go into tiny little pinpricks, and he goes, oh, you have to come with me right now. And he goes to like grab you by the wrist and lead you down the corridor.
Okay.
You gonna go with him?
Yeah, although I'll shake off his grab.
Okay, sweet.
I'll follow him anyway.
Sweet. So yeah, he's a tiny, meek little guy. I mean, like when you on closer inspection now that you can see in the second time he's actually looked up, you can see he's like gaunt. His skin seems to hang off his bones. And yeah, so he can't really fight you in that respect, but he gestures down the corridor for you to follow. So you just follow pattern after him, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay. And you do pass some stuff on the way, and the first thing you would pass is what clearly is the armory. Armory is probably a very generous term for it. In so much as it's just an enormous pile of weapons. As you pass a door in between sort of some spears latticed over the top of the frame, like you can see there's this enormous pile of weapons in the room of all different shapes and sizes. And every now and again, one seems to like fall from the ceiling and pad its way down onto the pile and slide to the foot of the pile.
Okay. Anything particularly catch my eye in there?
There's all sorts. If you wanted to stop and rummage through.
Probably have a look later. I'll follow this guy first and then.
Okay, sweet. So yeah, he leads you down, and you wind round a few corners in the corridor, and before you get to a large room, I think we turn the corner, and we see Din's face looking into the room, and then his head tilting back as he looks up and up and up towards something that's in the roof space. And I think we bump back to the room where everybody else is in non Valhalla. And I think it's at this point that Chacky begins to stir. So Yarla, you'd be on watch at this point, and I think you would notice it. You're probably not paying too much attention to it, but I think somebody who definitely does notice Chacky moving is lying curled up at the foot of your bed.
Okay.
And you see that like his head like darts up, and he begins looking pointedly back over at the curtain over in the corner of the room. And he like lifts a foot as if he's about to start moving.
I lay a hand on his head and like give him a couple strokes.
Okay, roll an animal handling for me.
Can I do it with advantage? Since he trusts me now?
I think the circumstances probably not.
Alright. 11 plus... nothing. Wait, plus my wisdom. Which is nothing.
Okay. So then I think under the circumstances, I don't think that's enough. And I think like you go to stroke it on its head, and then like it whips out from underneath your hand, and with a crazy sort of speed, it snakes out of the room, disappears behind where the curtain is. It sort of wafts up in the breeze, and then comes settling back down, just as Chucky's eyes sort of finish opening, and he groans awake.
Alright, I'm kind of glaring at Chacky at this point, because I'm kind of pissed off at him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think to myself, well, why not test out one of these spells that I just learned? So I'm going to use Phantasmal Force on him.
Okay.
To make him believe that a pit of lava is now directly beneath him.
Okay, so let's get the spell
When he
sheet
gets
up.
suspended above it.
Phantasmal Force.
Yeah.
I'm resistant to fire.
How do you spell it?
We have to look, find out.
Is it like phantasm?
Yeah. Phantasmal and
No, I-
Force.
I don't think it's in the
What?
in the.
I can just read it out if you want.
Yeah, read it out. What does it do?
So you craft an illusion that takes root in the mind of the creature you can see within range. Range is 60 feet.
Yep.
The target must make an intelligence saving throw. On a failed save, you create a phantasmal object, creature, or other visible phenomenon of your choice that is no larger than a 10-foot cube, and that is perceivable only to the target for the duration. The spell has no effect on undead or constructs. The phantasm includes sound, temperature, and other stimuli only evident to the creature. The target
Temperature.
That's fun.
Oh.
the target can use its action to examine the phantasm with an intelligence check. If they're using their action, they can use investigation.
Right.
If they suspect it might be an illusion. If they ever succeed, they realize the phantasm is an illusion and the spell ends. While the target is affected by the spell, the target treats the phantasm as if it were real. The target rationalizes any illogical outcomes from interacting with the phantasm. For example, a target attempting to walk across a phantasmal bridge that spans a chasm falls once it steps onto the bridge. If the target manages to survive, they will believe that the bridge still exists and come up with some nonsensical explanation for why they fell through the bridge. If perhaps they were pushed, they slipped through a broken board, or strong wind might have knocked them off. The affected target is so convinced of the phantasm's reality they can even take damage from the illusion. The phantasm, if the phantasm appears as a creature that can attack, for example, or if the phantasm is created as fire, a pool of acid, or lava, it can burn the target. Each round, the phantasm can deal up to 1d6 psychic damage to the target. If they are within 5 feet of the phantasm, provided the illusion is a creature or hazard that could logically deal damage.
Nice. So you're going to boil him in imaginary lava.
Mm-hmm.
This could kill.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. So he has to use a. I'm trying to figure this out whether you'd even get a chance to save this. Because he has to use his action to like examine it, doesn't he? And he's just gaining consciousness. I'll give him a chance before we boil him.
Well, I'm making it appear like below him, so he would think he's like suspended above it.
Okay, so he's not actually.
No.
He's not
This,
actually.
this won't be damaging him right now.
Okay. So how is he? Is he just levitating above it, or what's the?
Yeah. So
Okay.
he would be thinking like, because I'm gonna make it seem like I'm keeping him from falling
Sweet.
in.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, if that's the case, then yeah, I will get him to make a check. But he'll be feeling the warmth of it
Sure.
anyway. So, what's the DC and what's he rolling it with?
It's a saving throw against my spell attack's 14, and it's
Okay.
off his intelligence.
Intelligence. Okay. So there's his roll. 15 plus 1, so 16.
Nuts.
Okay, so I think
Does
that,
he not get disadvantage for just waking up?
Well, it's an intelligence thing, so not.
Well, yeah, but he also got brained on the head.
He got brain on the shoulder.
I think just purely because of how out of the blue. I think it is fair because I think how did this lava pit get here is a fairly relevant question for him to ask.
Fair.
So I think you were betting on the panic overcoming his logic in this instance. So I think there's an initial panic. I think there is some screaming from him, but as he's not falling, he's sort of like you see him sort of and he looks to the unconscious man to his side who's also not falling. I mean, he scowls at you, Yarly. You can see this is clearly you doing this as you pad out of the tent.
Sure. Is he awake? How do you feel?
I've been better.
Kind of like that dragon you've been torturing.
Okay, yeah. I think his eyes like seriously narrow at that. I mean, he doesn't say anything. He said, I think he does say, "Where is it?"
Right now it's behind the curtain still. He got scared when he woke up.
I think like the corner of a smile appears at the side of his mouth when you say that.
I'm gonna hit him with my staff.
Okay.
as soon as he smirks, I just like backhand him with the elegant quarterstaff that
So
I found.
he's woken up with 1 HP. Are you knocking him back out?
No, this is more like a.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not intentionally looking to knock him out.
Okay, sweet. So yeah, you baseball swing the quarterstaff across his cheek, and I think a bit of black blood begins to drip down between 2 of the teeth on his bottom jaw, and the smile is very much gone.
Sure. How should I put this? I'm the only one awake, and I'm the only one that would know if you died of brain hemorrhaging. So where'd you find the dragon?
Okay, roll intimidate for me.
19.
19, nice.
Yarla is very scary.
Yeah. All of a sudden, Yarla is very scary. He wasn't taking you seriously previously, but I think upon that, he winds and says, in here, in the cave.
Was it an egg, or did you find it living here?
It was an egg.
So you just found a dragon egg just sitting here in the cave, completely abandoned.
I don't believe it was abandoned intentionally, and he looks back down the corridor the way of Alice's lair.
There was that dead dragon. Too covered in web to see. So what have you been doing with the spider eggs? Keeping them only as weapons?
He nods. He says, "Yes, we grab them a few days before they appear to hatch. We haven't got this to recognize when they're at that phase." And he scowls and he says, "I imagine you had a companion who could do that."
We destroyed the rest of the eggs.
I don't think you have yet.
We haven't yet. No.
Didn't we?
No.
We were going to do it.
Error. I think upon that he does why his eyes do one thing. He says, "How long have I been out?"
A couple hours.
There's still time.
To kill
Let's
the
go!
spiders.
Let's go!
He says something will need to be done about that.
We'll handle it, don't worry. Or
So
maybe
he sort of scowls, says, I'm sure you. Where are my brothers?
asleep. That's all I say about that.
Sounds like them.
So how come you never came back for him?
Said I had grander plans.
Like torturing a dragon.
Hiding in a cave.
He sort of nods at that, says that was part of the plan, yes.
Well, I've read your little book, and I hold up the thick tome.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, your whole world domination is not really a secret.
Yeah, he I think he just humps more than anything else.
You do realize it wouldn't have worked, right? I mean, we beat you. Like, no offense, but like we're not the royal guard here.
Roll, man, what would you roll to break somebody's spirit?
Humiliation.
I think that's just like a straight charisma.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna get him. It's gonna be a charisma competition. Yours
Okay.
versus his. So charisma save. It's gonna be a charisma save. Oh,
Wow.
Chris.
He's real fanatical.
His delusion is. Fairly
I mean, I
strong.
guess I'll roll if I crit, but I'll re-roll that. Wow.
What is
Jesus.
it?
So 17.
17 plus anything?
1. But...
No. So I think his resolve stays true,
Hmm.
and he says, "My blood will have pulled me through."
Your blood is currently dripping on the floor.
I think he. How close are you standing? Within sticks. Maybe.
Yeah.
I think he spits some blood at you.
Where's it land? Or am I
Probably
swooping
flit
up?
all down the front of your nice new robe.
I smack him again with.
Yeah, that's fine. I think this time he doesn't look back at you. His head snaps to the side, but his head doesn't turn back around to look at you.
Right. I can't kill you because 2 of my companions are related to you, and I feel like they would severely frown on your death, even if they don't know that I'm responsible for it.
I think he scoffs at that. He laughs a little bit at the idea of that.
I did thunderous smite him. I'm not that protective of him.
I mean, you didn't kill him. So, here's the deal. I don't know if they're gonna let you go or keep you tied up, but if you ever touch the dragon again, that won't be an imaginary bit of lava. It'll be real, and I'll burn you alive.
Okay, roll an intimidate for me.
Sure. I don't even look to see if it works either. I just turn around and go back to the...
Okay,
Actually,
cool.
to the curtain where the dragon is.
Okay, sweet, do it.
16.
Nice. Plus anything for you?
I assume intimidate is strength, right?
It's strength or charisma, depending.
Oh, then +1. 17.
17. Okay. Let's roll his charisma to see how he fends. Okay.
He's shooting himself.
So yeah, I think his pride's still intact, but his resolve maybe not so much. So yeah, you pad off and you pull the curtain aside and disappear into that room. And I suppose, well, would you? It's still your watch. Everybody else is asleep. What are you doing then? So you find the dragon in
Yeah.
exactly the same place you found it.
I'd spend the rest of my time trying to coax him back into the main tent with some rations and kind treatment.
Okay, roll another round of handling for me. Jackie's between you and where he needs to be now, so won't be with any advantage.
Sure. I believe. That's 5. Not gonna do it.
So no, I think the issue is, I think like rather pointedly, like Jackie's not going to touch the dragon. But every time you open the curtain, and the dragon sees Jackie, he makes like direct eye contact with it, scowls at it, and it disappears into the room.
Okay, that's
Okay.
fine.
Cool. So you're going to go wake up, and then at the end you go wake up and run for his watch.
I would go to until I notice Mr. Rolly Eyes here.
Okay, well roll a perception because it could just look like he's asleep.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Let's see if anybody notices.
Crit.
Crit. Okay. So yeah, I think you do walk into the room, like you go to like reach over the top of. You probably have to like do a bit of clambering to try and wake up, run. And as you like lean over Din, like his head just falls back, and you do see the small eyes roll back in the head.
Tongue out the mouth.
Look to him, yeah, like tongue hanging out the side of his mouth. I think as you're doing, he's like, I'm not dead.
Yeah, I was quite reassured by this.
So he's not dead, as he quite firmly told me.
Irrefutable.
Does he normally look like this when he sleeps?
Did
It's probably not too dissimilar, aside from the eyes rolled back in the head.
I kind of like progressively shake him more and more.
Okay,
I assume nothing happened.
Yeah, he doesn't wake. No.
All right, I'm slightly concerned. So at which point I would turn to you, wake you up with a. I'll be nice. I'll shake you awake gently, or as gently as it takes to arouse you.
Yeah, there's probably a good.
To rouse you.
There's
I'm
probably
not-
like
yeah, rouse
There's a
you.
gentle shake.
I think there's probably like three, four separate attempts of increasing intensity as you're like gently, not so gently. For the love of God, wake up!
I just smack him with the staff. A, it's your watch. B, what's going on?
He doesn't usually look that bad. I mean, he usually looks pretty silly, but
He didn't get hit, did he, during the fight?
I don't think so.
Did he get brain damage? Has he always been brain damaged?
That's another story. Let me tell you about it. Anyway, can you stay here with him? I'll do the watch.
Sure.
Don't need his ass. Don't need his ass. Just to make sure he's. You know.
I make no promises.
So yeah, I'd leave in the good care of Yarla, my brother did, to go on the watch.
Okay, so yeah, I think you pad outside the tent, and like immediately, the second you pad outside, like Chaki's awake and staring, like deadlocked, looking straight at you. And he says, "Brother,
You're awake. How's your head?
sore."